What's up, everyone? This is the officer of the goddamn law, Charles Faulkner Jr., the suntan Superman, my brother, my champion, my savior. Whew, we had that all together. Oh, yeah, Black Line checking in. Well, everybody loves that name, by the way, Mike V. Black Line Security Firm. Hey, I know you got some connections, Mike V. I'm gonna put my email in the chat. Please hit me up because I need some connections for some contracts. I got people waiting. I want to send people to training. This is my duty to make America safe. We got AB Media, definitely. AB, hit my email because I'm gonna need you. I got the domain name for my website, and I need your expertise. Trust me. Trust me. How y'all doing? Let me know if you're in the building. Give me a woo. Tell me how your day is going. Please tell me how your day is going.
Woo!
See, right now, and I have to say shout out to Valdez, the angry man, for having me on the show last night to give my 2 cents and expertise on the matter. And it's kind of funny, right? And we both agree. Valdez is conservative. I'm a moderate to conservative, I'll say. A moderate conservative is that because, you know, most conservative men are very pro 2A, military, police, strong family values type things. And what we both agreed on was this. And I know I got some people who are white, Hispanic, Asian, who are fans of the show and supporters. But this is going to include you, but I'm talking very specifically to black people, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why, because we don't believe that protection is something that we intrinsically should do. For some odd reason, we believe that protection is someone else's problem. And we're currently and for historically, we've been bit in the ass due to the lack of actually taking that seriously. Now, old Officer Falk not telling you to do some illegal shit. Be guided by your state and your local state laws and local ordinances. But something has to give. Something truly has to give. Because black people have become such a soft target, and this is what happens. Even though I'm trying not to talk about the gynocracy too much, but it's gonna come up. Due to the fact that you're breeding the protective nature and the warrior mentality out of your boys, this is what happens. This is what happens when you do not have an intrinsic value system of the warrior culture. Shout out to you, Jude. Thank you for your service. I'm sorry. Warriors are not born, they're made. Somebody please put that in the chat. Warriors are not born, they're made. Coming in, give us a woo because we're gonna talk about some real shit. And I gotta talk to the men, especially All men are welcome, but I'm talking particularly to black men for this one. Excuse me for 1 second, folks. And we are back. Look, I'm going to say this from my personal, professional, and business expertise. Black America has a real deficit when it comes to protection. When it comes to military, police, firefighter, EMT, paramedic, armed and unarmed security. The public safety umbrella is something that I personally think is something that black people need to start taking a bit more seriously. I don't want to hear nothing about your religious beliefs because even in Ecclesiastes it says it's a time for peace and it's a time for war. It says everything for everything there's a season, okay? So don't give me that BS about well my religious belief your religious belief says you can defend yourself, your family, your community, and your country. You need to read those Judeo-Christian scriptures a little bit more before you come up there with me. Jude said, two of my adult kids are licensed gun owners with state weapons permits, teaching my two teenagers how to handle guns right now. Hey, that's what I'm doing with my 14-year-old. Took him shooting a couple of weeks ago. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we got the artist extraordinaire Art New Style in the building. Woo! T. Riddler. Woo! Donnie Mac. Woo! Black Scorpion. Mr. Vernon. Okay. Woo! See, you might want to share this to your family members because this is going to be a hot and heavy subject. Because this is what happens when, like I said earlier, you breed the warriorship out of your boys. The more you do not put your boys in competing institutions with other men and actually incentivize the competition, invest in that competition, they grow up to be the men you're going to rely on one way or another to protect you. You're probably like, how Officer Faulkner. Easy. This guy was 18 years old and he was geared up. He probably looked like me, ready to raid a building in Iraq, from what I'm gathering. When he had an AR-15 with various magazines, body armor, ballistic helmet, and his car even had even more weapons and magazines and ammunition. And this is a guy at 18. I swear, if I was the king of black people, every black person, male or female, would have to join the military for at least 2 years and get some training, get some situational awareness. And can one of you put that retired officer who was working security, go from the title of this and put his name in there, because we should salute him as one of our black heroes. He gave up his life returning fire with this bastard, saving countless lives. If it wasn't for his heroic actions, by the way, for all these detractors that says black men don't protect, notice I put his picture in the thumbnail to show you what a hero looks like. Okay? And I'm going to say very similar things to when I was up there with Valdez. The law enforcement in so many areas are woefully, almost comically undermanned, understaffed, and in some jurisdictions, outgunned. There is no reason in an urban environment your officers do not have, every officer in every vehicle does not have a shotgun and or AR-15. There is no reason for that. Well, everybody can't have. Look, you trust me with a goddamn handgun, you can't set up the training to get everybody trained up, because you know the threat that's out there is not getting better, it's getting worse. And we need to be very realistic, black men, especially men in general, that the first person to protect something is going to be us. What's up to the lovely Shonda H? I don't give a damn of how these women with their vitriol. They talk a big game, but guess what? They still gonna look for you. And do I think all? No, but guess what? At least protect yourself and the children. Trust me, the women are gonna follow anyway when shit goes bad. Katrina, anybody? All that feminism shit goes out the door when bullets start flying overhead. I'm looking at different news articles, looking at different news videos about this kid who had a 180-page manifesto, so much so that he put the names of various active shooters throughout history, of this modern history, on the rifles that he carried. He had them etched into the rifles. He even had the word nigga, 2 G's and an ER, for those who don't understand, on the rifle. Remember, this is an 18-year-old who was prepared to go to war. When he went to that shopping center, which could be any shopping center in the United States that black people frequent. Do you have what I like to call a safety plan when you go to stores? Do you even look to see where the exits are? One, do you know the difference between cover and concealment? For all my military and law enforcement brothers, please put in the chat the difference between cover and concealment. Well, the brothers and sisters, because, to be fair. Because for some reason, we take a lot of this shit very, very lightly. A lot of us live in cities like Baltimore, Chicago, LA, New York, Miami, Raleigh, Charlotte, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Detroit, you name it, Atlanta, you name it, you got it. Anytime you have a large amount of people, you're probably 9 out of 10 going to get a large segment of crime. Unfortunately. And see, what people don't understand is these fair weather politicians and politics are hurting you. They're hurting your family. I'm going to say this. If you have a state that allows open or concealed carry and you do not, I'm going to say this to you. You're part of the issue. What's the old saying? An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Rael said the irony is blacks support the party who wants to de-gun when no one needs to be more armed protection, needs more armed protection than black men, especially from other black men. Got blacks sitting targets out here. Yes, you're right about that. Free Will Defender said, I'm from Buffalo. Salute to that brother. I'm very proud of him. Salute to him. Fact. Some countries, it's mandatory for males to serve 2 years, military or policeman before college or anything. I think we need to invoke that as black men. You know what? Not former military, but this, you know what, Shonda? That's why we got nothing but love for you, sweetheart. Can't wait to do the health expo with Shonda and Rodney, who are both nurse practitioners. And we're not only going to make sure you're safe, but we're going to talk about the health that black men especially need. And normally either because of our ego or because the fact that nobody wants to make sure we're healthy, we want black men to live longer. She said, not former military, but concealment refers to as hiding place, and cover is a physical protection or shelter sought by someone in danger. Exactly. And even more layman's terms, concealment is that you cannot see me. Does not necessarily mean it could take a bullet, but for example, if I'm low crawling through high blades of grass and you cannot see me, cover is getting behind an engine block or behind marble steps that could take bullets. You might be able to see me, but it could take a bullet. Now, a lot of you hopefully remember the Gray Faulkner Initiative, which I'm going to post again. Okay? A lot of you need to literally, and I do mean literally, take your safety seriously. Take it seriously. Reason why is because the more we have of sound individuals who stand against this cowardly act, who are armed and ready for the situation. You may get one of us, but you ain't going to get all of us. And it takes training, it takes preparation, it takes grit, it takes balls and ovaries to stand against a bully. And that's what this guy was, a cowardly bully. Free Will Defender said, I agree, Charles. We should have, as black men, push for some type of 2-year enlistment. Yes. I'm going to tell you something. The community needs, even though God knows, BGS knows, and so many others knows, one of the biggest sins of black men is that we don't work fucking together, and it's by design. But fuck all that. Safety is paramount. Safety is paramount. We should start a fund for young black men for scholarships for college and trade, but they get the money after they give us 2 to 4 years of service in the police, fire, military, or armed security. 2 to 4 years. And we pay your way through whatever educational institution that you would like to go. Put your money where your mouth is, black men. For those of you, here's the copies of the Gray Faulkner Initiative. Please download it, read it, ingest it. Become cerebral with it. And if you have any suggestions to improve upon it, please hit me up in my email, which is in the ticker up top. By the way, Jeff, thank you for the $5 cash app. Talk to him all night about protection.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Shout out to Jeff. Shout out. Another one. Hey, thank you for the support. No matter how big, how little, thank you for the support. Thinking of others, man.
By the power of Grayskull.
See, you're right. Charleston was our warning to arm up. But you have to do it responsibly. I'm here to tell you, no matter how much we like our video games, our Jordans, our suits, our shoes, our drink money, our cigar money, whatever, you must invest into your safety, which means firearms training, situational awareness training. What's up, electrician? Young black men should be using the military to grow internally and use the GI Bills to grow skills wise for jobs out here are facts. We leave too much money on the damn table. How many? They need the death penalty, but they also need to let people carry. And I'm not saying everybody, because you need to go through sufficient training. You need to go through mental evaluations. See, the reason why we lock our doors at night, or if you live in Baltimore 24/7, is to keep the honest man honest. There should be a fear of God that somebody comes to your neighborhood to do violence. Our community should not be soft targets. Our communities should not be havens where cowards can do evil. You literally have a kid that's 18 years old. 18 goddamn years old. Most likely either trained or incentivized by some fucking racist group. Some radical motherfuckers who incentivized and galvanized this young man to do such evil at 18, where you really are supposed to be starting your adult life. Let's look at this, right? Let's compare that to the average 18 black male. Is that black male being cultivated to be a protector or being a servant? I'll let you answer that. Shout out to Edward Anderson, one of the few ones that wish I could have back when I could have back was my view on the military. If you were a wayward Negro, then armed services should be something promoted a lot more than it is. Of course. And you're right, Iman Perry. Motherfucker traveled 3 hours. 3 hours to do hatred. Don't think this, what we're going to call this officially, is an act of domestic terrorism. Okay? You heard it here first. And I hate to be so brash and so vulgar about what I'm going to say, but fuck the news media who doesn't say it. Fuck them. You called the black guy who shot at people on the train a terrorist. What's wrong with this guy being the same? And don't give me that mental fucking illness bullshit either. Don't give me none of that shit. James Keel said, I'm in Rochester, New York. Don't know if it's true, but he was coming up there first, but typed in the wrong location and shit. Trust me, he was there to kill black people. See, what we know through studies and FBI profiles is that as soon as an active shooter is engaged, there's an 80 percentile chance that that motherfucker is, one, you're gonna the amount of lives you save are gonna grow dramatically, and two, he's most likely gonna take his life. Because you got to remember, these guys are cowards. These guys are literally people who wouldn't stand up to a person and say, I don't like you, whatever you are, I'm going to call you, put adjective here, and let's duke it out back. No, these are cowards. See, I'm gonna give you some information about the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. And I had to learn this very well in Iraq and in the police department. One, the bad guys use human shields. The good guys are the human shields. Somebody need to put that in the chat. The bad guys use human shields. The good guys are the human shields. Like the brother in the thumbnail, who better be hailed as a hero, not just by blacks, but America in its totality. See, this is where I gotta say, Prada, this is your fight. This is what you need to do, especially for a lot of places where we have Congress people passing foolish laws when it comes to gun safety and gun ownership. Vote those motherfuckers out. You get somebody who's pro-gun and understand and actually sit down and look at ballistic testing. Because really, if you really want to go by ballistics, a handgun and a fucking shotgun are not as good for the home as a 5.56 or a 2.23, because the 2.23 round dissipates when it hits. It's made to tumble. It's made to spread apart. That's how it does its damage when it hits a bone. When it hits sheetrock or a berm, see, a shotgun, which fires what, 2,500 feet per second, what a slug is going through shit. A 9mm is subsonic, some supersonic. But we don't have experts here, right, BGS? Right? Art News Style, right, Edward? Right, AB? We don't have experts in this shit. And you're right. That black guy didn't even kill anybody, but he's a terrorist, but we can't call this motherfucker one. I'm not condoning one or the other, but look at how the media tries to convince you of one color over the other without even saying it. You're right, BGS. Support your experts. Now, think about this. One lady actually saw the exit and saw an old lady right there when they were shopping. Guns ran out. She ran out and saw the old lady dead on the floor. And she's mentally skewed because of that forever. Imagine if we would have had 5 brothers and sisters who were armed and would have stopped that bastard in his tracks. What you really need to say to all your elected officials, both local, state, and federal, why do you not allow me to protect myself and my loved ones and my neighbors? Why do you constantly try to convince me that you're doing things on my behalf when we have soldiers, former military, police officers, armed security, who's been qualified and certified for firearms, armed, responsible civilians who've been certified to carry? No sense will this ever make. And by the way, put this in the chat. The cigar of the day is Alex Bradley, baby. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to donate. Not too many people are going to come out with the level of expertise that I hold and speak about this injustice. Support those who support you. You can't walk around the supermarket with a shotgun normally. See, this is what happens with New York and most gun-free zones or laws, whatever. You ever notice the stricter the gun laws, the more violence is in that city or that metropolitan area. Studies have shown it. Gun laws don't work. And you're saying, how is that, Officer Faulkner? I'll prove it. When does a criminal follow the law? They're against it, but they're against the law just on a borderline period alone. Just by default. You're making laws where people who fail to follow the law are going to ignore it anyway. And the people who are going to suffer are the law-abiding citizens. Make that make sense. Shout out to Prada. Speak to him, All Might.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Shout out to our other lovely lady, Toya, in the chat. Salute the Black Scorpion. Hey, Slick Rick, talk to the brother, man. Slick Rick, where are you?
Woo!
I may not be a Dr. T, a Dr. Ron O'Neill, or a Green Gorilla, but I do hold expertise in the art of protection, law enforcement, and military tactics. So I kind of, sort of, maybe, perhaps know what I'm talking about. Studies have shown, what's up, Torian? R.I.P. to Ern Slater, a security guard who was shot at this damn dog terrorist, but unfortunately the bullet didn't penetrate through the armor. Facts. See, this is the reason why I started my own security firm. So the Black community and any community that hires us know that you're safe. I'm going to send. That's the reason why my GoFundMe is very important, because I'm going to send young Black men through training for executive protection, through high-risk security, and SWAT school. Why? Because guess what? People who work hard deserve the best. And those people who put themselves on the line, those young men who are going to put themselves on the line, and some young women who are looking to be hired as well, deserve to be paid and compensated very well for their service and sacrifice. And salute to that brother. Even in retirement of being a police officer, he holds true to being a hero. But by the way, how many people are going to say this man's a hero in these spaces? I'll wait. And Charles, you're right. New York and New Jersey has some ridiculous gun laws. Think about this. LAPD SWAT 1 said you should set up an alert training program for your staff and your new company, and then train the civvies. Facts. Well, shout out. Talk to him, He-Man, for a minute. You know, because guess what? In order to be protected, you have to have the power.
By the power of Grayskull. By the power of Grayskull.
And by the way, SWAT, I'm putting my email in the address. If you can't see it in the ticker, email me because I like to pick your brain and share some ideas with you. See, we believe in networking in this channel. Is there an age limit for what? Exactly. Because technically, you're supposed to be 21 to buy federally a firearm. But in the state of Maryland, at 18, you can work armed security and get a permit for work only. For example, anybody who's 18 and work for my company, I would have to issue them a weapon to work. And then when the duty is over, I have to take ownership of that weapon again. Now, when they're 21, they can reapply for another one that says they can get, and also an HQL in Maryland. Another dumb fucking thing. But anyway, and they can hold the weapon on their own person and take it home with them. So you got to read these gun laws and all the stuff that they're putting out. See, this is the reason why we call them soft targets. For those who don't know what a soft target is, a soft target is a target that has little to no defense to it, i.e., schools, daycares, shopping centers, malls, churches. A hard target is somewhere where it has medium to high defense, such as a police station, most military bases, especially after that one terrorist attack that happened, I believe. Yeah, it's Fort Hood. The rules changed for that motherfucker. By the way, I'm going to say this, right? I hate to use my belief because men, we don't believe, we think we do, or we find out. Military personnel should be allowed to carry sidearms on and off duty because, one, you put on a uniform and you become a target, and two, you're given much more destructive weapons when you have to go to war anyway. So make that make sense. If the people in that room were armed, one or two people might have been shot, but they would have lit that motherfucker up. But God, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You got to realize this. And when it comes to the faces of evil, and we're going to use the words in its proper context, evil. 18 years old, and you've been indoctrinated in a fucking evil mindset against black people who you probably live nowhere near. And I'm going to tell you this one, you're going to have a large amount of white guys who are going to look at black men and blame them for their shortcomings, like we didn't see this before in America. Rosewood, anybody? Tulsa, Oklahoma, anyone? My granddaddy, yes, I call him granddaddy. He just turned 90. Look great, still work out. My granddaddy said this to me. He said, I don't understand why a black man doesn't have a gun. He's like, you think through the history of this country, we would still depend upon our safety against most of the people who committed the injustice against us? And I had to look at my grandfather. I was like, wow, that's some profound shit. And salute to the police officers that came to that scene and had to see that nightmare of people from the ages of what, 32 to 86, dead on the ground. A lot of you don't understand. Cops got to look at that, man. Cops got to go home and look at that shit. There are times some cops will actually have to take a couple of shots after going on a homicide scene and cope for what the hell they have to see. Because as a law enforcement officer, as military personnel, armed security, hell, even unarmed security, you got to see the best of humanity and damn sure see the worst of it. Charles Irby said if you read the manifesto, the guy's an incel. He mentioned the miscegenation laws. He definitely thinks that brothers out here digging Becky. I'm not interested in white women. Neither am I. Most black men want black women. Yeah, we may have our issues and talking points, but most black men want black women. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and donate, people. What's up? Herb, long time no see. Renaissance. Your train shoots at a mass. If he has not, if he has, excuse me, if he has shot him in the head, he wouldn't have killed him. Yep. But people don't understand when you're in the middle of a firefight. Let's say if you shoot at 100% accuracy, because of adrenaline and because of the fight or flight that goes on in people's bodies, you can shoot at 100 on paper targets and your shit can go down to 25% because you're too busy trying to dump lead down range. And three, this is the reason why in some situations I believe that you need people who have a sidearm and a long gun such as a shotgun or rifle, because even if you don't penetrate, you got to knock him on his ass. And even if he doesn't have body armor and you can't get a clear headshot, you shoot the pelvis. I don't know anybody who's brave or strong enough. Once they get hit in the pelvis, you're not fighting anymore. Because a lot of times we're taught to shoot in the head, and we're also taught to shoot in the pelvis as well. That's a little tip for y'all, by the way. Tank Johnson, Officer Faulkner, I hold a Maryland wear and carry. If you do tactical training, I'm interested. Don't worry, boy. If I don't do it, I'll send you to it. I'll hire you and I'll send you. Shout out to him. Talk to him, all Mike.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Shout out to Jay Shines, always faithful. Another military brother here working up there in Germany with the big wigs. Yeah, you shoot like you trained. You goddamn right. Skills like firearms, like shooting, like tactics, erode over time. Get in that damn range and practice, practice, practice. $150, $250. What's the cost of learning skills that can save your life? I'll wait. A lot of y'all don't understand this. And how many of y'all like that tip about shooting in the pelvis if he's wearing body armor? Because it's very 10% of your body, your head is only 10% of your body. unless you got a big ass head. But 90% of the time, 10% shot. That's why they call it a 10% shot. If you see me at the range with a shotgun or rifle, most times I'm at 25 meters practicing that long shot. At 7 meters, maybe 10, I'm practicing with a handgun. That is a very hard shot for anybody who's being engaged with an armed assailant. Practice, practice, practice. If you can't get that shot, go for that pelvis because, hey, look how wide your hips are compared to your head. You have a higher chance of that. See, we got to get away from this ignorance and fear. Because, yes, I understand the gynocracy. Yes, I understand how ungrateful some black women are. But it is still your duty to protect your community. And if you feel as though this ain't your community, the least you can do is be trained sufficiently to at least protect the kids, because kids never asked to be here. They're innocent, no matter what you say. They're innocent. If you got an issue with the black man, black woman, fine. You shouldn't. There ain't a damn thing that black child, boy or girl, has done that does not deserve your protection. At least protect the future. Too many times we have let shit go by the wayside and watch people ask for forgiveness. A guy had to go and hear about his mother being shot, and he's a former fire chief. Former fire chief had to go and listen, and the woman came from visiting her husband who was in a nursing home, and come to the mall to get him stuff, come to that shopping center to get stuff for her husband, and ends up dead. Do you think she deserved that? I want you to put that in perspective. If your grandmother goes out shopping, it's common courtesy to expect other black men or other men, period, to look out for her. I don't get it. I'm not telling you what party to vote for. I'm not telling you who to vote for. But if you get a motherfucker in office who was anti-Second Amendment and he's looking to restrict your rights of carrying a firearm or even owning a firearm, you're a damn fool and you are an accomplice to your own destruction at this point. I'm armed to the teeth and I can't live in those big cities. You know what? I can't blame you either. GT Shiva was a Sharu. We have to look out for each other. Facts. You're going to have to. This goes back into what I said, the little bit of the gynocracy I'm going to speak about. See, a lot of black women, if you were friends with me on the Facebook and you tagged and you see all that nasty shit about that they said about black men, and hell, some of the nasty shit was about me. Because I'm a professional, I would still protect them. You know why? Because it's duty over yourself. And a lot of black women who live alone and have no man, do you know how much of a percentile of danger you put yourself in? So yes, when BGS asks, should we respect black men? Yes, number one, you should respect them as the goddamn human beings God created, just like you.
And two, you should respect them because 9 times out of 10, it's that man that's going to put his life on the line to protect yours. So don't give me that bullshit that black men don't create, black men don't protect. Last time I checked, that's a black man in my thumbnail who's a goddamn hero and protected countless lives, pinning him down with the cost of his life. Don't give me that bullshit. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say this for a lot of y'all black people. Look, if you got to work overtime, if you got to get a second job, get the ammo, get the firearm, get the training. Budget your shit out monthly. You should at least go to the range every 3 weeks or at least once a month. And if you're a novice, pay for the damn training. If you're intermediate or expert, pay for the damn training. Shout out to Sir Anthony. I'm going to post it in a second. Another one of the people who've been rocking with me since day one.
Woo!
Another one of the faithful. Thank you, Anthony. There's the information for the GoFundMe right here. Anybody who wants to donate, trying to get some good brothers, good young brothers into training, put the responsibility of protecting our community back into the hands of young men. We want to give them jobs. If you want to curb your crime in your cities, invest in your young men because studies have shown most of your crimes are committed from the ages of 14 to 25 young black men in the community. You know why? Because of lack of education, lack of opportunity, lack of training, lack of mentorship. Not only will they have a guy like me putting foot in the ass, but also taking time to speak to them and sit them down and talk to them like human beings and giving them good worldly sound advice, but they're going to get some of the best training. I've been talking to people like Israeli Tactical and ESI to send guys there. You can make dreams happen. You can save us. You don't know. The money you donate can actually save a life. You never know. Shout out to native arson. Excuse me, atheists. Ric Flair it is, I guess.
Woo!
I'm sorry. Because one thing about it, we really need to cultivate our next line of leaders and protectors. We need a renaissance of the warrior culture. I'm going to say it again. We need a renaissance of the warrior culture. I'm going to say this to a lot of black men listening. A lot of you need to start Boy Scouts troops. Why do you need to start Boy Scout troops? Teach these boys some skills. Get them from under their mother's skirt. Because guess what? If we go by the conflict that's in Ukraine right now, I'm a 40-year-old man. According by Ukraine's executive order, I would still have 20 more years of war battling to do, of fighting for my country to do. Remember, they said from 18 to 60. And a large majority of us are that age group. So guess what? You got a lot of fucking protecting to do. You got a lot of training to do. You have a lot of mentoring to do. It's funny that you brought up, do you know how many Boy Scouts have shrunk compared to Girl Scouts? Of course, because everybody wants to focus on the girls. But last time I checked, the girls don't do the protecting. When you have single mother homes, look how the crime went off the hook. It became volcanic. Shout out to Rich Martinez. Look what happened. You're right, blood boiling. Modern day Spartan Argon, which means the agony, the struggle, the crucible. Staged event or not, guess what? Let me tell you something about it, right? We need to stop and get out of this stage bullshit. Because people did lose their lives. And to say something like that would be very highly disrespectful. So either remove your comment or get timed out for that shit. Shonda said, that's real talk, Officer Charles. Boy Scouts will definitely teach you some tactical skills and how to improvise and survive in unforeseen situations. Facts. Let me tell you about this, right? This stage stuff, man. I'm emotional. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You gotta go. See, this is the reason why Order 66 on these trolls have to be invoked. You think a guy like me is emotional? You really don't know me then. Raven Knight said, fact, Charles. I tried hard looking for a kid to join, and I was shocked at today's scout. See, this is the reason why we as black people need to have our own shit. We need to have our own gun club, which me and my boy Derner is going to start. We need to have our own security firm that I've started. We're going to have people like an LAPD Squad 1, like a Jay Shine, like, a famous Davis, the famous Davis, like an Officer Faulkner. Hell, even though I have an ideological difference with this man, for the safety of my people, I would sit down and brainstorm with Officer Brian Tatum. Excuse me, Brandon Tatum. For the safety of my people, I would sit down and brainstorm on a live stream or behind the scenes with Brandon Tatum. See, that's something that a person who's a leader would do. Despite our ideological differences, safety for our people must be the fucking primary goal. Facts. It's not called camping. I call it survival. Yes. And thank you, Rich Martinez. Not staged. It's real hate and evil. There are races out there trying to get us. Facts, Jay Sean. We have to put everything into our boys. The future is our absolute responsibility. And see, Jay Sean has a daughter, very intelligent, lovely young lady. Jay Sean should be able to go in the community to know where this boy was properly trained to be a provider, a leader, a husband, and say, this is a good man for you, dear. Princess, this is a good man for you. You should have the ability to know that young man is going to do right by your daughter and be able to protect and provide for her and whatever kids they create. We shouldn't have to play a guessing game with our goddamn safety and future. But see, that guy who want to talk about stage and shit, he doesn't want to take initiative and cultivate the next generation of warriors and leaders. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to see that the fact that there's evil out there that has to be stopped. And it has to be taken on head first. And what's the old saying? How we stop evil men with guns is to give the good men guns as well. And it's been proven in situations like this over and over, repeatedly, again and again. Truth hurts for help. There are 100% racists out there to get us. But for you all just to shut down that this is potentially a stage event is a lack of intelligence of how the media plays our puppet strings. Okay. Okay. Even if it's staged, was there a loss of fucking life? I'll wait. We're going to spend all this money to stage this shit for what? Presumably. Shout out to LAP SWAT 1. We need to develop a warrior class. Don't wait. Take the fight to them. Facts. Come on, He-Man. You got to speak to him, Prince Adam. Goddammit. Speak to him, Prince Adam. They don't hear you, though.
By the power of Grayskull.
See, let me ask you something. Right? Matter of fact, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let my followers and subscribers do it. Can you please tell this guy my expertise? What's up, Broken Blade? Can you please tell this guy my expertise? Can somebody out there listening, can you please tell this guy my expertise? Somebody said. That's right, blood boiling. If you want peace, you have to prepare for war. Can you please tell this idiot my expertise? Because a lot of you motherfuckers come over here with your ignorant ass fucking Illuminati bullshit with no facts, no fucking information at all, and you automatically it was staged. Was Columbine staged? Was Virginia Tech staged? Was the fucking DC sniper staged? That's all the fuck you got is staged. Please tell this motherfucker my expertise in this matter. Because it's kind of funny. Yeah, it was the black man who tried to stop him. As a matter of fact, it's the black guy who was on the thumbnail who actually stopped him from killing other people. So all you motherfuckers out there need to stop trying to question me about my fucking expertise. But if it's a white boy saying this shit, you be all fucking ears. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it out there for you. A lot of the white boys don't even have a half of the fucking expertise I got. Even if you compare Baltimore City to Baltimore County, in my first 6 months, I handled more shit than the average county officer did in fucking 5 years. Maybe even 10. I was in fucking field training and I had to draw my weapon several times. So fuck you if you don't think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Ignorant bastard. Honor to the fallen, my brothers. Train your sons to be warriors, scholars, and gentlemen. I know, I do. Our sons are the sword and the shield of the future. Woo, facts.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Thank you for all who put what my expertise in this fucking black manosphere truly is. Because guess what? Here it is. I put nearly 15 years on the streets of Baltimore. The only time I missed is when I was severely injured. I put 10 years in this country's U.S. Army, 18 months in Operation Iraqi Freedom as a member of the QRF there. In my first 6 months in Iraq with the QRF, I had over 354 documented missions. We're not talking about the entire 18-month tour, just the first 6 months. So dismiss me with your bullshit. And see, for all of you who got experts in this field and in the black manosphere, don't you allow one motherfucker to disrespect the experts who speak up for you. I'm going to say it again. Don't allow one motherfucker to disrespect your experts speaking for you. So all the homicides I've been on through the years, staged. The mass shootings I've been on, staged. The riots, staged. Okay. To say that that was staged is to disrespect that retired officer who defended life and limb up to the cost of his. That's highly disrespectful. And I'm not going to let you shit on this guy's fucking heroism. You need to go to somewhere else for that bullshit. Every time you come up here with a serious subject matter, you're going to have all these detractors. You're going to have all these naysayers and ne'er-do-wells coming to stop progress. Go somewhere the fuck else. Now, anybody want to come up here and talk? Let's have a conversation. Whether you agree, disagree, I don't care. And yeah, I said it. If it came down to the safety of my family, my people, I would even sit at the table with Brandon Tatum and brainstorm. On his live stream, my live stream, I don't care. Behind the scenes, I don't care. The problem is, like BGS said, Black men need to learn to work as a unit. This is the reason why I'm so pro-military. You learn to work as a unit. You should be dependent upon each other for your safety, for your economics, for your education, and for your future. Because I noticed there's a lot of dudes who talk shit, but won't bust a damn grape. Woo! What's up, B?
What's going on, Charles?
Not much. You see the fucking disrespect?
Yep.
The fucking disrespect we get in these fucking spaces. Whenever I challenge you on your expertise when it comes to computer programming.
Never. Never.
But we get these jackasses constantly trying to challenge the intellectual prowess of a black man who's been doing it for years, decades.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a web host yet?
Oh yeah, I got it. The domain. I'll send it to you in the email.
Okay.
And I'll send you my number so you can text me because that's going to probably be faster as well.
Actually, I think I got it.
Okay.
Remember those Blurcon photos you texted me?
The Blurcon?
Yeah, you texted me some Blurcon photos that Fine Chicky Check texted.
Oh yeah. Just send me a text to make sure I got it still saved because my phone's inactive.
Oh, okay.
So what's your take on this?
Black people need to learn how to protect themselves and stop playing around.
Facts.
But yeah, need to learn how to use a gun. Now, this is hard for me to come out with, but what if you're legally blind?
Legally blind. Oh, they're not going to give you a gun, but legally blind people, one. Oh, man. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. I would have said pepper spray, but you don't want to accidentally spray who doesn't deserve it.
Right.
That's going to be tough. Legally blind people. I'm gonna have to say it. They're gonna have to be with somebody at all times who's on point. Yeah, they're gonna have to listen. And thank you, LAP SWAT one. Ignore the fools. You've been on the tip of the spear. Remember, the lion doesn't care what the lamb thinks. Hell no, we don't. We don't. The protector don't need to know what the protectee's crying about because we're too busy trying to make you safe.
Right.
Let me see. I talk shit 14. Black men have stopped a couple of these corny whites white boys from shooting up the place. Do we get credit for it? No.
Of course not.
And for both of you, we're gonna do the Ric Flair for that one because both of y'all said some profound shit. But what I will say is for somebody who's blind, woo, what's up, everybody's favorite mother trucker, A.L. Evans. But for the most part,
I need a 2 size bigger in the tip.
say that again.
Old girl in the woo shop, he thinks I need a 2 sizes bigger.
2 sizes bigger. Yeah, we love some Bria Miles, don't we?
Don't hump me, AB. Don't hump me.
See, the one thing I can say,
We like them thick and thick.
for blind people, get their striking up, close quarter striking, like similar to Wing Chun or Escrimas, because they already carrying a stick. Might as well learn how to be a stick fighter. So you use Filipino stick fighting. Learn some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in case it's close quarters grappling. Learn some American wrestling. Learn how to do joint locks because guess what? I had to teach and compete against guys who were blind, and one of the training scenarios that my coach has given when I was competing and what I give my wrestlers is to blindfold them and learn how to wrestle from touch. If I can touch you, I can take you down and I can hurt you. So that's one of the things I could say. Learn how to do stick fighting, learn some American wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and learn some close quarter strikes, elbows, knees, some good old-fashioned Muay Thai, some Wing Chun. That'd probably be some of the best bets for them. Who said the experts don't come out?
What about pocket knives or something like that?
Yeah, I know, Shonda. I think Slick Rick need to just enjoy the retirement.
Sure.
Pocket knives. I'm gonna tell you my philosophy, and many of the police officers, law enforcement agents, and operators and military personnel will probably agree with me. I carry a gun 24/7 with extra magazines. One, if you carry a gun, carry extra magazines because you never know if you got a rat tat check and go, you might have a faulty magazine or a bad feed. You want an extra magazine. The worst thing you ever want is when you want your gun to go boom, it goes click. 2, the gun protects you, the knife protects the gun. Even though I got a gun, I still got a knife that's about 5.5 to 6.5 inches. If you grab my knife, I'm taking your hand off. So I'm a big proponent of the knife.
Okay.
Chloe Bailey's better. That's your opinion, sir.
I'm talking about when I'm out. I got a full tank at home.
Oh yeah, and those are usually the best knives. I would also check to make sure, like, does it have to be in your pocket? Does it have to be whatever? Make sure make sure you go be governed by your laws. You know, I don't want you to get locked up because we got some business to conduct, and we want our boy AB Media to be free. And last but not least, always if you can't carry a gun, at least carry multiple knives.
Okay.
And hell, even on duty, You carry multiple knives. How you doing?
I carry two.
Smoke.
Yeah, and I'm sure you forgot something. Don't pull it out on an officer. What you said within 20 feet, they have the right to shoot you.
20 feet. You can shoot. You know. Let me see if I give you a good one. Give you a good Alex breath.
This is what I'll do. I'm not supposed to take authority, but I'll definitely take a picture of it.
Hey.
Right.
Don't forget the LFD as well.
Okay. I'll definitely send it out.
LFD, might want to take a picture of this. And salute and thank you for your service. I did almost 15 years with the city.
Police?
Yep.
Where? What district?
Northern.
How long ago?
Just got out, what, December?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's yes, man.
Hey, he jumped off the reservation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you again, man.
Who's that, man? Be safe.
You too.
Do you think the government should?
Just in case anybody was wondering what I was doing, I was talking to a sergeant who's walking foot out here.
Oh, okay.
Making sure he's safe. What should the government do? Go ahead and finish your statement. I'm sorry.
Do you think the government should have kept a closer eye on this guy?
From what I was reading,
and you would know.
I'm
asking the expert. He would know.
Oh yeah. From what I was reading, and this is what pains me, right? Just like 9/11, you do know that we had eyes on these fuckers, right?
On hijackers?
Yep. A lot of people don't know that. We had eyes on them. They were even reported by the pilot school. They were always worried about flying, but not worried about landing. They knew. And notice why we have a Homeland Security now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the CIA had information, the FBI had information. Instead of combining their forces to get the whole picture, they wanted to keep their shit separate from each other. And look what happens when you keep information from each other separate.
Oh boy.
You get one of the biggest, if not the biggest, terrorist attack in history, besides slavery. Anyway.
How you gonna be a part of the alphabet? I'm talking about the alphabet law enforcement community and decide we want to keep shit from each other. We don't want to kill.
You want me to honestly,
come on.
You want me to honestly answer that question? If you want me to honestly answer that question, give me a woo in the chat in the panel.
Woo, yes I do. One. A whole bunch of ones. Answer that motherfucker.
If y'all want me to answer AL's question, give me woos in the chat. And a donation don't hurt either. But still, give me at least a clue. But I'm gonna answer it and I want you to ask your question again loud and proud in case people didn't hear you.
How come is it that the alphabet law enforcement community wants to keep shit from each other and act secret, but y'all all supposed to be on the same goddamn team, from the CIA to the FBI to the DEA to ATF to all of them. But as soon as 9/11 comes, we gonna create Homeland Security and combine everything. But for 40, 50, 60 fucking plus years, everybody was saying, nope, we ain't sharing no information with nobody else.
I'm gonna answer it as best as I can and the best way I can. Because too many people want to look like the fucking cowboy and save the day instead of being a team member. It's like too many people in this space, right? Instead of getting the message forward, too many of us want to fucking try to be the number one Negro. And what happens when you try to take information that could save countless lives? You fuck it up. You fuck it up. It's just like with this young man to answer AB's question. Did you know from my investigations and reading that this boy planned to do a mass shooting, an active shooter at his own graduation last year.
What?
Yep. They did not charge him criminally. They did not contain him psychologically. He was planning to do a mass shooter at his graduation. This UAL?
Don't sound like him, but okay.
Yeah, that's me. Killer Extra.
Okay.
All right, can y'all hear me now? Go ahead,
Right, you're good to go. Because they wanted to act like they wanted the heroes, they cost so many lives at 9/11 for not sharing fucking information. What's up to Nino? Charles Faulkner. This plan they had was and is alive and well. Their eagerness to divide is right here on YouTube as they slip into the black spaces to attack. Many stay asleep about this. Facts. Think about it. They kept the information because they wanted to look like the fucking heroes instead of doing their job and protecting people.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Do you know how pathetic that is?
That's sad.
Sorry about the noises, Baltimore, and it's nice weather, so you're gonna hear dirt bikes.
Nothing wrong with that.
And if LAP SWAT 1 is still listening, can you come on the panel for a minute? Because you know me, I'm open, but I gotta talk to my people first. Black people, we are at war against white supremacy. Malcolm X, may he rest in peace, warned us well as our ancestors, which is facts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to remember. I'm guessing you're a female, right? You got to remember that even Malcolm X had to take a mini Ruger to the window to protect him and his family. Shout out to Electrician and Broken Blade for the super stickers, and this for you, AL, as well, since we all a fan. And for all my brothers who are Christian, greetings. For all my black Jewish folks, shalom. And for all my Muslim brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum. Extended clips, another good Muslim brother here. See, the one thing I respect about any true followers of their beliefs, the one thing they know is that God says it's okay to kick a little ass to protect yourself.
Amen.
It's okay to defend your country and your fellow man from tyranny. See, when I went to Iraq and other places, I didn't blame the Islamic faith. I blamed a bunch of people who claimed they were Muslims. I blame, just like there are some people who are Christian who put on white sheets to terrorize people of color, especially blacks.
I call those Christians.
See, you don't fucking demonize a bunch of people who have beliefs. Because last time I checked, no matter what you believe, what you are is black.
Yep, still a Negro.
And guess what? The one thing I learned through my studies in Christian and Catholic schools, that there's many lights that lead to the same path. Trust me, God has many names. Just like you think, for some odd reason, people think that there's only one true way to God. Guess what? If God can recognize you by the way your brain waves are different from someone else's, and notice the rhythm of your heart is different from someone else's, don't you think he is going to be called and recognized by his children by different faiths and different ways of calling them?
Well,
Shout out to Extended Clips.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
See, the one thing I gotta correct you on, Malik X, is that this modern American Christianity is started on this. Because if we go back to Africa and Ethiopia, the Coptic Church in Eritrea, you know, the Coptic Church, that's where Christianity started. Because prior to the Council of Nicaea, everybody in the world believed Jesus was born in a cave in Ethiopia. You didn't get this Bethlehem stuff till after the Council of Nicaea. Thank you for coming to the channel and supporting. Please like, share, subscribe, please.
Oh, by the way, since because I know it's going to be the Christians that say, "Oh, the Lord will protect you." Okay, if I'm not mistaken, Jesus told his own disciples to arm themselves, and Jesus had to keep his disciples from killing the soldiers that took him to get crucified. Oops.
See, people don't know this in the Bible. The disciples were not just the disciples; they were also Jesus' bodyguards.
Yep, they were the forces.
I think it's very funny. I think it's very funny, right? Very funny how Jesus could go in the temple, kick over tables and whoop some ass, but we sit here being docile creatures, letting anybody do what the fuck they want to us. I think that's real funny.
You know why that is, Charles? That's because they New Testament brainwashed us down.
No.
Okay,
hey, I gotta correct you.
What you got, AD? What you got, AD?
Everything Charles just said happened in the New Testament. Oops. Jesus knocking over the table, that happened in the New Testament. Oops. Jesus telling the Pharisees, "You're snakes. You look clean on the outside, but on the inside you're full of dead man's bones." Translation: you're full of shit. That happened in the New Testament. Oops.
Oh, let's go back to the Old Testament.
Yes,
what
sir.
happened when Moses came down with the? What happened when Moses came down with the 10 Commandments?
I believe they made a golden calf or something.
Yeah.
Throw it to the damn ground, and the ground consumed them.
Yep.
Don't get me started on Gideon.
Oh yeah, the Old Testament. Oh, I know why they want that. Why Strags want that New Testament. The Old Testament used to talk about the Strags. Oops.
Even Revelations talked about the whore of Babylon. Oops.
Yep.
And that I will actually agree with you, 2020 vision. Too many liberal thoughts have taken over the black church, because the black church back in the day was conservative as hell.
Yes, sir.
Conservative as hell.
They didn't let all these single mothers run around like they doing now.
See, America doesn't like to tell the story of how, that's the reason why we need to protect our elders in the community, because they got great wisdom and learning lessons that we all can live by.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather said, don't think we were docile people. If we found one of us hanging from a tree, we took 10 of yours out. And I'm gonna leave it as that, because we're not trying to get the channel flag.
Right.
Yeah, let's
I'll
remember
probably
that.
say something worse than that if I get pissed enough.
But everything you saying is factual enough.
Because guess what? In the military and the police department, I was always taught sometimes to save a life, you may be called to take one.
Mm-hmm.
You may be called up to take one. I'm sorry. You come for me and mine, you gotta go. What was it Gideon? I think it was Gideon. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where they just destroyed everything. When they destroyed, God said, "Don't let one damn thing in there exist."
Yeah, I gotta look that up. Didn't he say give him Solomon that, not Solomon, Saul that command to destroy everything?
I think it was Saul. It might have been Saul.
Yeah, I think it was Saul because it was the first king, right?
Yeah, he was the first king of Israel and Judah.
Yeah.
And you know the thing that burns and taps my heart? Little white supremacists don't care. They love to get you in talking points and go talk about old women, children, elders. They never want to take on people of their same age. You don't see them coming in the room messing with the small ass niggas. They know better.
And I'm glad, Nino, you're a godsend. This stream is not about the Bible or religious debates, but about the mass shooting and how fucked up it was, how these terrorists are starting race wars. Thank you.
Right.
So you're telling me, right? Because we're going to go, and the reason why we went to the religious site is because a lot of people try to use religion to condone them being docile, to condone their cowardly acts of not taking the fight to a motherfucker who's a terrorist against you. Because you see, a lot of people don't understand Charles L. Faulkner Jr. I'm cool with the Jews, I'm cool with the Christians, and I'm damn sure cool with the Gentiles. With Muslims, your faith is very interesting, and we'll sit down and talk about it. But at the same time, are you for your people?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Charles, I'll take
because guess what? I don't get to pick who I get to rescue. I don't get to pick who backs me up. Are you a man about your people? Because last time I thought about the Abrahamic religions, it's a man's duty to defend his land, his family, and himself, and his country. Because guess what? That one bastard did not go out there saying, I'm only going to shoot black Muslims. That one bastard didn't say, I'm going to shoot black Christians. I'm going to shoot black atheists. No, he said, I'm going to shoot black people. So guess what? We're all in this together, whether if you like it or not. Shout out to Brother Love.
All right. Charles, I'll take it a step further. I'm in the Christian church, and it's been my experience that a lot of non-Christians actually follow the Bible better than some Christians. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Oops. And
yes, you can.
By the power of Grayskull.
I don't know about you, but there's something about Battle Cat roaring just get your blood boiling, man. I love that shit. That's you see a lot of people don't understand something is that one of the few nicknames I never went by was the Black Lion in Germany. And I said, wait a minute. That sounds like a good damn security firm, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way that line rules, boy. See, the one thing about men, see, the black man is the lion. He's the egalitarian ruler. But you step on his property, you fuck with his fucking pride. Why do you think the motto of my security firm is we get a pride of protection with the protection of the pride? Who's your supporting cast in your pride? Who is it? Who is it? And you know what's funny? Yeah, there's a lot of non-Christians who follow the Bible better than Christians. Why? Because we want to hear about prosperity preaching instead of that old time religion. You know, because back in the day, since we still on this protection and mass shooting, you had the brothers called the deacons of defense. If you let, this is the one thing I will agree with 2020 vision. If you let people tell you the narrative, they will tell you something that goes against your history and culture because they want you to be docile. Just like they always give you, I have a dream now, Martin Luther King, but they won't talk about Dr. King when he says we coming to Washington to get our goddamn check.
Oops.
Gets real quiet when they talk about that. It gets real quiet. What's good, everybody?
What's up?
Turning the silence of the lambs.
What do you think?
Yeah.
On a side note, what do you think about the comments made on my Facebook post? Interesting,
Oh man.
huh?
Oh, very interesting. And it's funny because I was just looking at that book, The Deacon of Defense, is that you gotta have that. I think that we need to go back to that. I think just recapping on what you've been saying for the last hour or so is that you listen, these people, these folks out here, these racist individuals out here, they're going in there and doing just multiple shootings and everything. We need to protect ourselves, and for people to come in the chat room and talking all this ignorant stuff and like, well, what's your expertise on this and everything? Like, this is crazy. That's insane, man. But
Yeah, it is.
another thing is, and another thing is, you got to remember when Jesus did turn over the tables. I mean, this ain't a little small table. That was a big table. He also he also broke out with the whip.
Yeah.
Okay. He broke out with the whip. Yeah, man. He put some thrashing on some people. So the thing about it is that I think that when it comes to our community, and I think you were right, it's going to be up to us as men. Even though we can disagree with sisters, we can disagree with brothers, it is going to be up to us as the men of this community to protect ourselves, man, and to protect our community as well. It's going to be up to us to protect our community. Nobody's coming here to save us
Nope.
as a community in its totality. No, nobody's coming here to save us. Nobody's
Not
coming here
even
to save
close,
us.
man. Not even close. And here's the craziness of it all, right?
Mm.
You got brothers out there who's going to use the gynocracy as an excuse not to be the man, not to be the protector. See, we protect even despite of the gynocracy, okay?
Yep.
You're telling me women like our lovely Shonda and our lovely Toya and our lovely Kareem, those women don't deserve your protection?
They deserve every bit of it. They deserve every bit of it.
Somebody tell me that bullshit, and I'm gonna call you a liar.
That's right.
But they be like, but the gynocracy. Like I said, aren't you your brother's keeper? What's the motto? What's one of the mottos here? My brother, my champion, my savior.
Yes, sir.
You gonna sit by idly while somebody pulls a gun on your brother?
But the craziness in all of this is this. They've been raising their boys to be feminine so long and to be docile in the way they handle their male aggression in the streets is ass backwards. So when it does come time for them to have to stand up for the community. They're not gonna know how. You got women pulling them out of coattails, talking about, don't do this, don't. I need. Basically, these women want these effeminate ass men to just lay down and die with. They want to lay down and die when this shit comes. They don't think it's gonna come, but it's gonna come. But then when they see real alpha men like us up here talking about we go do something about this, why? What expertise you have? This, that, and this. Well, I don't give a fuck about your goddamn excuses. Just get your ass over there on the sidelines because we know you ain't finna do shit but complain, and we ain't got time.
See, Sister Shonda, if you're still listening, can you pull up the definition of brother, champion, and savior, please, dear good sister? Because I think there's some people out there who need a vocabulary lesson. Because one, we gotta understand that protection is gonna be the man's responsibility. We don't create the environment, we shape it. If brothers came together, the gynocracy is going to fall anyway, because brothers are going to be holding brothers and saying, you know what, we're going to galvanize each other to be better. We're going to do what need to be done. We're going to take our communities back. Back in the day, you couldn't sell drugs on nobody goddamn block because all the men in the community, all the men in the community would come out with their rifles and shotguns and handguns and say, you better take that shit somewhere else. That's what happens.
Even the gangsters had code back in the day.
Even the gangsters didn't sell on a Sunday, didn't sell to children, help mothers to the day of help mothers and grandmothers and old ladies with their bags. Shout out to Nino for the support. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan once said, instead of lifting every voice and sing, lift every fist and swing. Woo! Because they just don't get it. And when you go low, they go high. Facts. Come on, speak to him, Prince Adam. Speak to him for that one, boy. That's
by the power of Grayskull.
brother, by definition, a man or boy in relation to other sons and daughters of his parents. Notice, biologically, fraternally, step, or whatever, because that man is your brother. It's kind of hard to see another black man as your enemy when you see him as your brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, charity is defined as brotherly love. Oh, wait till she defines champion, because there's two definitions of champion, baby, and both are correct.
No, Charles, they really need to hear the definition of savior.
Mm-hmm. Wait till that one comes out. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy, because we gonna hit the good times, boy. Because a lot of people don't want to put their faith in their brother. Yeah, you should be. There's times people need to hear from their brother. People need to hear from their champion. I don't know what the hell we think we're gonna get by. Oh, here she comes. Champion, defined by a person who has defeated, surpassed all right. God damn it. Give me a woof. Everybody in the woo! I'm gonna say that shit again for the Negro. By definition, a person who has defeated, or surpassed all rivals in competition, especially in sport. Someone who fights for a cause on behalf of let me say that again. Someone who fights for a cause on behalf of someone else. Hmm. Wait till she gets the definition of savior.
But Charles, these modern women just want you to fight without a cause. If I say sick 'em, you go sick 'em, i.e., Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, wait till she come with the definition of savior. That's gonna really rock some people. Remember, somebody who surpassed all rivals, i.e., I have no equal. No man is my equal. Savior, by definition, a person who saves someone or something, especially a country or cause, from danger, who is regarded with the veneration of a religious figure. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm going to read it again for the Negroes who can't comprehend. Savior, by definition, a person who saves someone or something, especially a country or cause, from danger, who is regarded with the veneration of a religious figure. See, people don't understand this, right? Because even in the Bible, it talks about the man being the religious figure of his home. Because God talked through the man and the man talked to the wife and the children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
They not listening to man no more, bro. That's the whole problem. You can't tell them nothing. Who go check me boo? All about me. This is the syndromes they suffer from, which equals dissociative cognitive syndrome.
And see, this is the part about protection people do not get. What our motto here is my brother, my champion, my savior. Okay? So, with those definitions the lovely Shonda has given us, let's make that make sense of why this is very important that the brother here who's on the thumbnail, Mr. Aaron Slater, was he not the brother of his community? Was he not
Mm-hmm.
the champion of his community? Was he not the savior of his community?
Ultimate. Serve public service as a public servant for 20 plus years. Then went back and done security work to serve the public. Hero.
To the cost of his life. And this is the reason why I keep telling you, don't let anybody talk shit about our heroes. We have a bad habit of doing that in our community.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear them talk shit about Thomas Jefferson, Paul Revere,
George Washington,
George Washington, Elvis.
John
You don't
Wayne.
hear them talk. You don't hear them talk, but we allow people to talk shit. Oh, Malcolm X was gay. Bullshit. You should not. They should be in fear.
How can a man who got married, had 4 daughters, and was faithful and loyal to his race, his religion, and his cause, fight all his shortcomings and backslidings in the beginning? And even when he was backsliding with females. He was a heterosexual male, and they had the audacity to say that shit.
They even said the same thing about Dr. King because they want to make a little smear on the civil rights movement. Guess what? And you know what? Shout out to the queen. If we're gonna call somebody a queen, it better be Coretta Scott King,
Mm-hmm.
who didn't even pay attention to those FBI agents.
And boy, they was trying to do her husband in. Hey, you know Martin sleeping with this. You know Martin sleeping with that. She just sat there and had a good long conversation with her man and said, guess what? At the end of the day, I'm standing by you because you standing behind this cause, and this cause is greater than this insignificant ass bullshit these people trying to come at us with. And I'm saying it in these terms, but I know she was stating it to him in a very mild mannered, womanly, nicely tone, because she was a real woman to the end.
Because notice this, they're quick to try to talk about Cosby. And see, those fucking feminists and those weak ass men in our community try to condemn him, but guess what? How many college scholarships did he give out? Cosby probably put more people in college than anybody in this country.
With a different world alone, they probably put millions in college.
And I guess what? I ain't seen none of them fucking heifers and them weak ass dudes get back their fucking degrees. Phony talk, crazy brave. The phony tough, crazy brave.
Hey, Charles,
Not a
check your
one
mic.
of them, Charles. Yeah, check your mic, Charles. Check your mic.
What about now?
It sounds off. Like you're kind of low.
I'm gonna come out and come back in. It's StreamYards, man.
But yeah, I agree with Charles. We gotta.
What about now?
That's better. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep.
What about Cosby, who put numerous black people through college, even gave you shows of the black excellence? Hell, I was so much of a fan of A Different World, I was looking to go to Hillman.
But you know how it is, Charles. They live by the Cinderella Snow White syndrome. That man got every man in their eyes got to be perfect. But the minute he makes one flawed mistake or any type of mistake, oh, we got to condemn him. He ain't shit. These men ain't no good. They always like to go back to the tropes because they've been programmed. But what you got, AB? I'm listening.
At this point, we can't put that on Cinderella, because Cinderella's been out for over 50 years. At this point, these chicks are on the Real Housewives of Atlanta syndrome.
Real talk, real talk. But shout out to Kevin
Cinderella was, say what you want about Cinderella, she was no stray.
Yeah.
She didn't act any kind of way.
But shout out to Kevin Samuels, like you said. It was the Walt Disney and cosmopolitan propaganda. That's what I was alluding to, kind of.
True.
This is what got them on this, and it's morphed into that housewives stuff on the ladder, what you're talking about. It's to the point now. I mean, I swear, I think these women are trying to just like, if they had the button to the MX missile, they would implode this world right now, just because of non-satisfaction. If they're not satisfied, they go implode. That's how I feel like they just walk around and think, if I can't have it my way, I want to implode everything. I destroy everything and don't give a damn about the repercussions.
Unfortunately for some of them, yeah. That's why I avoid them.
So you got to realize this, right? A lot of these women, and I say this carefully. So you need to appreciate your men. You need to respect them. Because if they turn their backs on you, who else is there to protect you? That black man who gave up his life, bravely doing so, prevented countless other people. Because guess what? If he didn't return fire, the police wouldn't have got there to stop him. Think about that. And that's basically I can't disagree with you. You got the Jezebels versus our good women.
Yep.
Basically what it boils down to. Charles, you're so correct. If that officer, that security guard, didn't return their fire, they showed the type of ammunition that this boy had on deck. He was ready. He could have took at that whole shopping center and kept going.
And that's what's his plans when you read his manifesto. He was supposed to go to a few stops. If he didn't stop him and return fire, it would have been an even bigger casualty.
Okay, Charles, I need to rewind for a minute. How do you plan to shoot up your graduation and still be able to get off and legally own a gun?
See, here it is, right? It's the same reason why the Baltimore police force and police department, why they hired somebody who was a director. If a director holds the same pay and rank as a major in the department, and the majors are usually people who are the heads of districts or units. You give this person who's making at least starting $150,000 a job, you're supposed to investigate this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a civilian director. But somehow your investigation proves to be flawed because he was the suspect in a murder case. Well, I'm not lying. Go look it up.
What? Okay.
Exactly. You heard it here first.
Okay, let me get this straight.
Well, please repeat that for the people in the back row. I
He's
don't
the
think they heard.
director
He's the
section of
director of a unit in the department who
a
holds the same rank as a major in our department, in charge of a unit, supposed to be investigated, fingerprinted and everything, but they hired him and they didn't realize until another agency did the investigation that he was wanted as a person of interest and a suspect in a homicide case. I wish I could make this shit up.
wow.
The system is designed to protect them and hurt us. First and foremost.
But
Whoever
yet,
hired him should be fired.
the commissioner should have been fired, in my personal opinion. You trust me. This is the same fucking agency that let good officers, lieutenants, and sergeants go who were lied on and said they were being the aggressors in a domestic violence case. The case went on, found out that they were acquitted of all charges. The investigation of the trial went on even further to actually state that those officers were actually the victims of domestic violence, and they fired them anyway.
Mm.
This question, let me see, 2020 vision. As a former officer, isn't it strange how all this is signed, sealed, and delivered, already packaged? What happens to the investigations to find out answers like you detectives had to? Well, it's still ongoing. Because anytime you get a mass shooting like this, you're going to have you're going to have the local, you're going to have the state. It's not signed, sealed, delivered yet. Because I'm going to tell you, he was incentivized and sponsored by a terrorist cell. One of those white militias, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he might have been a lone wolf. But at 18, when it's really, really hard for an 18-year-old to get a gun, I'm pretty much betting that he was sponsored, trained, and incentivized by a white terrorist cell. If that holds true, you know where you heard it first. Because I can understand it if he was military trained of being a lone wolf, even though it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the kind of stuff he was saying, unlike Columbine, which was not racially motivated, unlike Virginia Tech, where it wasn't racially motivated, This guy received training and bought weapons or had weapons at the house with them. But this guy, from what it looks like, he was being incentivized by something or someone. So don't be surprised if you heard it here first that he was incentivized by a white terrorist organization. I'm just saying, and certain things don't look right. Like the Virginia Tech guy, he was just a nutso, overachieving Asian dude. Columbine, they were guys who were bullied, and because they were in the Midwest, they can get access to guns much easier than anybody on the East Coast or the West Coast.
Charles, you're absolutely correct. He was influenced. He had to be. Think about this. He's 18 years old. No military training. No police training. But you armed to the hilt. You in fatigue, and you armored up, and you wearing a military style helmet with a cam on it. You set up like you paramilitary or SWAT base, getting ready to do what you finna do.
See,
And all that is the training of a white supremacist terrorist group. That's all they MO. 2020 showed that back 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's a terrorist group training type stuff. And the fact that he's saying not guilty for his plea is a telltale story. And word on the street is there's talks about trying to bust him out of jail.
Oh boy.
Something about it just sounds like he was incentivized. Like, I understand, like,
They would want to come at that angle like you're talking about because he's no Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse got off on bullshit ass technicalities. They know this one is not getting off. So and they want a martyr, a messiah type, a young new face. So I wouldn't be surprised if they talking that nonsense. You correct, Charles.
well, you have a question. Why was the shooter in court 3 hours after he was caught and let alone on a Saturday? FYI, I live in Buffalo, 5 minutes from the tops. I'm going to tell you honestly, different jurisdictions do shit differently, whether if it makes sense or not.
Mm.
And unfortunately, they want to make it look like they're doing something swift because you can go, remember, up to 24 hours you have to see somebody of a court usually. So they can make it, they remember when you get arrested, they can make the process as long and as fast as they want within 24 hours. Usually. So they're trying to avoid having a big brouhaha saying we're doing something, but we need more information because this sounds like he was incentivized by either a group or some type of message online or in person. And then he noticed because usually what made it even weirder, I forget the percentage, I think it's close to 90, 85 to 90 something, the percentile of active shooters taking their own lives, and he just casually put the gun down.
Who was the boy? Who was the boy in South Carolina that did the same thing and they took him out to eat and this and that? He just put the weapon down. Those are tactics that they train them to do. We don't want you to die. We want you to go in there, kill as many as you can, put the gun down, and let them take you to jail and whatnot. So we can then in turn get on the internet, social media, and cry about you being our martyr, our savior. You understand, Charles?
And by the way, LAP SWAT, hit my email as well because there's some things I'm going to talk to you about offline. I'm just going to say this because I'm not sure if the officer had any military training. I know he was a retiree, and this is one of the reasons why for my security firm, everybody's going to be qualified on a shotgun and rifle. You have to, and a lot of times, let me see what Extended Clip said. I heard, not confirmed yet, that earlier today there was another shooting in Texas today, waiting for confirmation. Jesus
That was
Christ.
Sunday. That was Sunday, and it was in
Sunday?
Houston, North Houston, at a flea market.
Was
Two dead, one injured, I believe.
was that another racially motivated incident?
We don't know just yet. They working on it.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I've taught my homeboys to shoot, and they've also gotten training because, like I said, it's your job. Let me see. Thank you for your service. It's your training. It's your duty to keep up with your training. And I don't know how many times I can emphasize. You know, I'm gonna keep saying this, man. You keep taking this shit as a joke. This country is gearing up for some ugly shit. And these crazy young white boys are coming up trying to blame the world. And I'm going to emphasize this shit again. They're trying to blame the world for their shortcomings. Oh my God, my privilege is going away. I need to attack somebody for it. No, not in hell. You would be charged. You would actually be considered a hero because you got to remember that's a deadly force situation, and he puts you in a spot of no choice. Remember, there's a lot of active shooters people had to jump on with the knowledge of them knowing that one of us is probably going to get shot, but it's for the greater good. Like I said, I'm trying to send people, young men especially, but I will hire young females as well and take them to the ringer. Put them through scenario training, put them through SWAT training and executive protection. Hell, a lot of the black communities actually need to pitch in and hire off-duty police, hire armed security. Speaking of police, that's Foxtrot overhead, the helicopter. I'm surprised black communities do not hire their own off-duty police and their own security to do patrols around their neighborhoods. Hell, next month I'm going to be sending one of my guys to special police training. Don't forget to support the GoFundMe too. So a lot of this stuff, you know, it just tells you, that number one, we need to actually sit down and have a town meeting in whatever town you are in. You need to go question your city councils, your mayors, your county executives, whatever the hell they call themselves. What are you doing for us to protect ourselves till the police gets there? Are we going to have to be victims, or are you going to give us the ability to protect ourselves? See, you got to think about it. Law-abiding citizens don't want to be in the OK corral. They just
No, we
don't.
don't.
They just want to go home and deal with their families after work. Go to work, go home, spend time with your families. Nobody's trying to be, oh, well, if you give these people guns, it's going to be a shootout every day. It's already a shootout every day in many of these urban cities. I'm so tired of this liberal mindset that if you make the laws even tougher, the gun violence goes away. No violence goes away unless you're willing to stand up against it. Sorry. Shout out to Sun is Hot Raw. Charles in chat, I would normally give a Ric Flair greeting, but now it's probably ain't a good time for that. I tell you, Charles, if it wasn't for the gun, there wouldn't be about shit. Here in the UK, they wouldn't dare. Of course. Of course. Because fundamentally, you got a bunch of these fucking people who act like Billy Badass when they get a gun. And unfortunately, for a lot of these people who are so docile, the only way you stop a bad guy with a gun is usually with a good guy with a gun. We're trying to we're trying to plead to the humanity of a guy who commit mass murder. Pick a struggle.
Yeah.
Pick a struggle. Sometimes we have a bad sense of what evil is in our community. We have a very senseless joke about it, man. Because we will let our own sons and daughters run willfully in the streets, committing acts of violence and crime, and say nothing about it. Scared of them, as a matter of fact. Wanting the police to handle it when we can handle it our damn selves even better. There are so many times as an officer, I had to tell dudes, get off the corner, yo, I'm about to go to your grandmother's house and I'm going to tell her what the hell you've been doing. No, please don't tell her. She's going to put me out for real this time. I'm going to tell your father. No, you're gonna whoop my ass. I'm tired of this cowardness. That either people want you to be a coward or people are actually cowards themselves. Something's got to fucking give. Because too many lives are being lost. Too many lives are being lost. And here it is, you got a government. Oh, we're going to get rid of ghost guns. Does that fucking matter? Who gives a fuck about a ghost gun if they can go to the fucking harbor and somehow finagle 100 fucking AKs from the black market?
Wait a minute, Charles. This coming from the people who put guns on our neighborhoods. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Oops. And including crack. Oops. I mean, it's shameful, man. It's fucking shameful. I'm going to tell you, this is homework for y'all. Go study your gun laws. Because if you own, a lot of you, and shout out to Valdez for this idea, have a small safe that you can bolt down in the trunk of your car. So if somebody breaks into your car, they can't go into the safe and they can't take the safe out the car. Bolt it down to the trunk of your car. Whether it's big enough to hold a rifle or big enough to hold a handgun. That's your decision. But the least you can do is put that damn gun in there in some extra magazines in case some stupid shit happens. That's the least you could do. Put a safe in your damn car, bolt it down, and have a handgun with some extra magazines, at least 3 to 4, because you're gonna need that. You're gonna need it. And notice, Charles Smith, you see these goddamn gun back programs, and here's the stupid part: they send the goddamn guns away. You get $100. The guy shot somebody a couple of weeks ago. He gets paid to turn in a dirty gun, and nobody checks it. We'll buy your guns back. No problem asked. When the fuck did that ever fucking make a community better? Black man, black woman, get your medical skills up, especially your emergency medical skills. You better get your stuff together, man. Get your stuff together, man. I'm gonna tell you, get your shit together because it's not gonna get better out here, man. Mm-mm-mm. Been out here for two and a quarter. Any last words, AB and AL?
Protect yourselves.
Protect yourselves at all times. Get the training. Get the weapons. Get the ammo. Start black gun groups. Learn those gun laws. Matter of fact, start lobbying politicians that are pro gun and pro gun permit. A lot of you don't even realize a lot of the gun laws in your fucking states and cities are actually unconstitutional. But they love
Yep.
to live
Especially
off
up
of the
east.
they love to go against they love the ignorance of our people who won't fight it. But till then, woo! And we are out.
Peace out.
Peace.
Everybody stop.
Woo!